sure.
Very cool. All right. So talk to me about strengthening your sphere, because you come from a great background, and we've talked in the past about just about this, about how important it is to build out that database. But I feel like people overthink it, right? Both new and old agents, because I've got veteran agents on my team that still overthink it. So help me out. Where would we start with this? All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. We're here with Stuart Sim. He's the VP of, what was it?
Industry development
for Chime, right?
That's correct.
I was gonna say something along those lines, so I'm glad you jumped in there, Stuart. Thank you so much. We're gonna be talking about your sphere and how important it is to build out that database. But before we do, we've got a few people on here. I want to know where you all are from. Give me the city and state first. I want to know city and state. Stuart, we'll start with you. Where are you coming in from, buddy?
Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh, that's cool, man. Nice. I like. Is it snowing?
No, it's actually a beautiful day outside. It's probably 65, 70 degrees, sunny, beautiful.
Nice, dude. Oh, look at this. We got a whole bunch of people from all over. David's from Sioux Falls, Billings, Montana. Oh, what's up? I love that area. Wait, what's up? We got another one from Montana. That's so cool. You guys are neighbors. Probably not. Scottsdale, Exton, Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining us. And then last question before we get going. Are you with Chime? Yes or no? I just want a yes or a no, just so we understand our audience. Give me a yes and a no. Holy cow. We have a lot of yeses. Here we go. There come the no's. Good. I like it. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. You could be going out, working out, or hiking, or doing who knows what, but you're here with us. Thank you. So Stuart, thanks for joining us, buddy. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll get going?
Sure. So lover of technology. I've been in technology for 22 years, and the last 12 of which have been spent in RE technology. So I got into it via realtor.com. I was leading the top producer sales team for 8 years.
I remember.
I've worked with Tristan in the past at events and other things. And then I started my own RE technology company called Modern Agent, was social media management, content placement, and Facebook advertising, geographically targeted. And then I had the opportunity to join Chime about 3 months ago, and I took the leap, and here we are today.
Nice. So I'm glad you did. You've got an amazing team at Chime. So they're also lucky to have you, bro. So
yeah, it's exciting times for sure. Very
cool. All right. So talk to me about strengthening your sphere, because you come from a great background, and we've talked in the past about just about this, about how important it is to build out that database. But I feel like people overthink it, right? Both new and old agents, because I've got veteran agents on my team that still overthink it. So help me out. Where would we start with this?
Yeah, so here's my philosophy on it. And I've been doing a lot of talks on it recently. I've had some good feedback from agents, and really you've got to start from the beginning. And when I say the beginning, you have to have a plan moving forward. So, sometime in October or November, you should sit down and think about what you're going to do next year. And the main component is that usually with real estate agents is how they're going to grow. And when I say grow, it means adding to my sphere, adding to my database. And when I think about it, on an easy level, as an agent, I should be thinking about adding 8 people to my database every week. The problem is, where do they come from? Right? How do I add to my sphere? And there's all kinds of different options. You know as well as I do, especially post-pandemic, the consumer is spending much more time online. So you really need to build a strong strategy for your online presence. And whether that's having a really good IDX website, being social media relevant, doing pay-per-click and SEO, but really building it out. The other side of it is the opposite end of the spectrum, where you can't forget, and this is one of the big problems with the industry today, is you forget about your current sphere, the people that are sitting in your database already.
Mm.
So I use an example of a realtor that I used many, many years ago to actually buy the house that I'm sitting in right now. All I get from him every year is a calendar at Christmas. He's never reached out in an effective way. I haven't used him. I've had 3 property purchases since then. And I've used another realtor who actually works his sphere. He's on my hockey team, and he benefited from the lack of follow-up from my other realtor. So, there's 2 ends. There's growing your business, but then there's also remembering the people that you've transacted with in the past. Now, they can also be your best friend, because they can give you positive testimonials that you can post on social media, and use that, call it that client influence, to help you move your business forward. Even when they're speaking to other people in the community, they can talk positively about you and give you that referral that you might need.
Oh, dude, I like that. I like the ability for us to take the database a little bit further, because one thing that we all have, and if you're paying attention, is this, right? And this, in essence, is where, if you don't know where to start, this is what I tell my team. Come on, guys. Jake, who's running the webinar, is our lead coordinator. I'm like, come on, guys. This is your database if you don't know where to start, right?
Absolutely.
So start with Z's, because you typically start with A's. And now we can go there, or we can say, hey, let's take it a step further. And now that we have this, we can go to, what is it at? That app, MC Backup Pro, and export everyone from here in an Excel sheet or CSV, whatever you want to do, and put it into Chime. And before you do, just do me a favor and do yourself a favor. Look through every single one on the Excel sheet and be like, do I know this person? And do I want to talk to this person? Right? And if you don't, take them out. I think I have like 3,500 people on this. I bet if I did that right now, I'd probably only end up with about 700 people in my database from there. And you want to be careful when you do that. But the app is called MC Backup Pro, and it's like $3. But that's where I would start. And that's where it's just a simple process. From that, though, the extension of our database is still, I think, social media, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I
Where
ran a social media company for 3 years.
Dude, so you understand,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's where we need to take a look at and say, well, how are we taking care of that database as well? And are we transferring those people we connect with deeper into Chime, right? Are we using that as well? Because there are, like you said, Stuart, I don't want to be that dude or dudette that sends you just a freaking calendar and be like, Merry Christmas, here's my calendar. Or worse, Merry Christmas, here's a picture of me and my family. Like, do I really need that crap? I don't. I want to interact with you, right?
I think the other side of it, Tristan, is people have to understand their market and where they actually do business. So, I use the area that I live in is flush with real estate agents, right? So what are you going to do to differentiate yourself in that regard? So if you can provide your past customers or potential future customers, call them prospects, with relevant content and relevant information about the market that they live in or the market that they potentially might want to move to, I think you're going to get ahead of your game. I think too many real estate agents don't understand that the constant communication and providing that relevant information is what really could possibly drive future transactions. Now, we're in a super interesting time right now because, and here's my perspective on it, Tristan. Over the past 2.5 years through the pandemic, housing prices have gone through the roof, right? So let's say I bought my house for $500,000. Today it's worth 1.2 million. There's literally $700,000 in equity sitting there that could be used to invest in further properties. So if I'm not mining my database and knowing that knowledge about my past customers, I'm not available to actually potentially approach them and talk about other opportunities, vacation properties, rental properties that they now have access to. So again, you're using your sphere to drive potential new business. At the same time, you're using great tools like Chime and some of the tools that Chime integrates with to actually help you add new customers. But, significant amounts of old business can be driven, through that database.
True. And if you're moving into a new area, Stuart, I think that's where Chime can also help as well. And I can tell you I'll give you my experience, and I'm glad Jake's on here too. So Jake's my lead coordinator. He also runs all the back end stuff for our webinars. But when we were looking to transition over from, I grew up in the Los Angeles area. That's where I was born. But I grew up in what's called the San Fernando Valley. And that's it's on the other side of the good area, which was like Malibu and all the other nice areas. Okay. So I always wanted to break into Malibu and Pacific Palisades and just all those great luxury home areas. And the fastest way that we did it in two ways. One of them was calling expireds for sale by owners, like that way. And the other one is through Google PPC. And I think this is where, if you're starting off in a new area or you want to break into a new area, I don't think we talk enough about that, because I think most people don't understand that, or don't even realize, like, we can pick, dude, let's play a fun game and have an impromptu moment right here. I just want to have some fun with you right here. Let's just go to Google, and I'm just going to share my screen just for fun. Let's see what happens. Okay. Here we go. Google, our favorite buddy. Number one most visited website in the world. Google. Let's type in, what area are you in? No,
well, I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, but
give me an area, everybody.
Somewhere else
in the chat. Give me an area.
Seattle.
Seattle homes for sale. We're gonna play a game. All right, let's go to Google on the top 4. These are sold. Top 4, top 3 areas are sold. You see this little section that says add? Look at our favorite buddy. Redfin.
Gotta love Redfin.
If Redfin, this is what I'm glad it showed up, because I always say Redfin and Zillow are playing this game, but you're not. They want to break into an area. Guess where they go to? They go to Google first. They go to Google pay-per-click. They go to Google PPC. And this person, Flyhomes, I don't know who they are, but look at this, LA, Seattle. That's pretty cool, man. That's
Flyhomes is one of the new iBuyers that are making headway. They raised a bunch of money.
Yeah, so they're almost ready to fail too. I love it. Homes in Seattle area too, like that. I don't know who that would be, but that's really cool. And then Zillow's bought their way up to the top. Very cool. So I bet you do this with every area, and every once in a while you'll find a Redfin, you'll find a Zillow, you'll find a Realtor.com. You'll find all of these companies that are using PPC to break into new areas and get a new customer and increase their database. And that's what I want you to start thinking along those same lines. Like, if I want a bigger database in an area, if I want to make an impact, if I want to break into an area, what am I doing? How much money am I investing into my future business? And I don't think we think about it like that, Stuart, at all.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a good point, Tristan, because you do have to get creative in this day and age with the competitive nature that's out there with not only other agents, other brands like Zillow, but the iBuyer market that's out there where, people are transacting online as opposed to using a realtor. So you need to be very effective as a real estate agent. Now, you also have to have a plan to go through the conversion of those people, right? It's great to add people, but you've also got to convert them. So again, Chime, we do all those things, but the main thing for us is converting the people to actually transact with you. It's great to add 300 leads, and you know all about Realtor.com. You shared an office with them for years, and it's great that you can get 100 leads from them, but if 1% of them transact,
but what happens after too, right?
Right. So
what's that? What happens after too?
Correct.
Because there's all this money being spent on acquisition, right?
That's right.
And zero money being spent on the other side. Have you heard of, and Jake was with me on this webinar yesterday. Have you heard of the bow tie funnel?
Nope.
Oh, dude, let's play the Google game. You all are going to love this. Okay. Let's go to Google one more time. And I'm going to show you something, because this goes, deep into what we're talking about here. Bow tie funnel. And oh, beautiful. All right. So in essence, I'm just going to pick on any picture. That one's blurry as heck. Okay.
I understand the concept as soon as you open it.
Yeah, there you go. You will know exactly where I'm heading. The bow tie funnel can be used for different things, but let's look at this for acquisition and then what happens when we actually transact with a client in the middle, and then what happens after. So most of the money is being spent here, right, to acquire the client. This is why you see when we Googled the first time, the iBuyer, whoever they were, Flyhomes, did you say Flywheel?
Yeah, Flyhome.
So yeah, there's just another company that's going to fail big, which I love, right? As nobody can compete with us when it comes to relationships. Remember that, guys. This is a relationship business. This is why Chime is amazing, because it helps you strengthen that relationship. So this is the acquisition area. Middle is when you transact with them. And at the end of this bow tie is what do you do for them? And that's what Stuart is talking about right here, where he's playing hockey with the agent that is selling him homes and finding homes for him. It's not just a freaking, hey, here's happy Christmas card crap that we all send out. That means nothing to me, right? On the other side of this bow tie funnel, we really need to create more opportunities to interact with people. And that's why I love Chime, because now we have automation in place, right? It prompts us to call them. We can retarget them on Instagram and Facebook if we want to. Right now it's on Facebook. And we can do so much more, but we just don't know what's out there. So how would you recommend we start with the other side of this funnel on the other end, man? If we want to touch people so that we connect with them differently and better, what do we do?
Yeah, I think you have to have a really strong strategic plan about that conversion. So once they become in your book, there is a funnel of ways to do it. Reaching out to them, again, I've mentioned it before, with relevant content and relevant information about the marketplace today. What's happening today in our marketplace, Tristan? What are we seeing? We're seeing high prices, low inventory, but we're also seeing interest rates rise, right? So as interest rates rise, people get scared. They're scared about their mortgage payments. They're scared about other things. So now you have to be even smarter as an agent, because you actually have to be relevant to the customer. Another cool stat out there right now that people are talking about, which actually really interests me more than anything, because, you know, everybody does talk about lead generation, right? Everybody talks about, you know, getting the lead, is the cost per lead, but cost per lead becomes less important. And you should start thinking about cost per transaction, right? So let's say you're spending $10,000 on Zillow a year, and they send you 3 leads and 1 converts. What's your cost of acquisition on that lead? It's $10,000, right? You're spending 10, you get 1 lead, you convert 1, you get 3, you convert 1. So traditional lead generation systems can be anything from, you know, low $20 a lead right through to, you know, $120 a lead. But when you actually convert it to transactions, it becomes much more expensive. And you have to start taking that into consideration when you're spending that kind of money. And when you're thinking about that conversion rate, that's why it becomes so much more important to extend that bow tie to the other side of the, you know, the middle, where you've spent all this money on getting these people into your database, but you're only converting a very small percentage. And how you convert more is the relevance, being relevant in your market, providing the information that people want, consistently speaking with them, reaching out. Again, not to be an annoyance, because, you know, you can overhammer people too much, but there is a delicate balance. You know, for us in Chime, you're using your smart plans. It's a plan that's built out from, you know, a lead that converts into a customer right through the process. So it's becoming much, much more important from a conversion perspective. And if you're not looking like that as an agent or a broker, it's time to change and start looking at that number. Again, if I'm thinking about what I said earlier, and I'm only adding 8 people to my database every week, that's 384 a year. So how many of those do I have to convert on the new side of my business to be successful, and how many old people that I've had in my database long-term, because you also have to think about your long-term conversion rate. So a lead might come in today and you might not transact with them for 18 months. So there's all these different realities that a real estate agent or broker has to deal with in this day and age. And especially over the next 2 years, where it's going to become much harder to find that new lead. Again, we're seeing it in the economy, the stock market, and everything that's going on. Yeah, I mean, as a real estate agent, you need to start thinking, wow, how am I going to get there in these harder times?
Yeah, I agree, man. And there's a great question that goes along with what you just said. Says, well, do you Chime, like the Chime CRM, do you have anything in there that allows us to just kind of plug and play so we don't have to rethink it? And I'm going to share my screen. I won't do an impromptu Google search. Okay? Promise. This one's not impromptu. I'm just going to go to my Chime account. This is my main Chime account. And we're going to go over here. This is the main screen. It says add more smart plans or adjust existing plans. I'm going to click on it. And then you can see here, this is my favorite, one of my favorite parts of Chime, because they made it super easy to be like, okay, what do I need? Do I need nurturing, initial contact, after closing, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to after closing. So I'm going to click on after closing. And you see on the right-hand side over here, as I scroll through this, right? I can change it. And those are all the different plans. Let's do after closing, right? And click it. There it is. After closing, I've got a few choices and I can create my own buyer lead after closing. Let's do buyer lead after closing. Let's take a look at this, right? It's already created for us. We can come in here and we can import it and then change it up. This is what I would recommend. I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to go to two things that I have and I'll drop them into the chat for you. This is one that I have for past clients. It's a drip that I created and this is all custom for me, right? You can dump this into Chime. Here's the outline and then here are the details. Like, what does the text sound like? What's the email like? What's the other text? What's the everything all outlined for you? You can just plug it in and then I have one for 3 years.
Yeah, I would say this is one of the key features of Chime, on top of the traditional CRMs and what you need to do in there, plus the lead generation and connections to social media. This is the one that really does stand out as a difference maker when you're thinking about your database and what you need to do with it and the cost of what you've spent on it.
I love this. For me, it's just so visually easy, because this is how I think as a real estate agent. I'm like, oh, of course, after closing, right? Just the little details, just so you know. I love that part. And we've got a couple of questions. Hold on. Jen, yes, great follow-up. I'll send that over to you. Let me see what the question was. Did we answer that question, guys? All right, perfect. We did. Excellent. All right, let me throw that into the chat, the past client one. And while I'm grabbing it, Jake, can you place the link if anybody wants to find out more about Chime, the Chime CRM, where they should go? This way, there it is. It's right above the link that I'm going to drop here. This is
also just to let everybody know, we are offering a 1 month free with new subscriptions until the end of March. So it's a good opportunity to jump on right now.
What is that? So the 1 month free would be for like what? Just so I know. Like for the single one. What is that?
Yeah, single license user. We are launching the broker product. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but we are officially launching the broker product on April 1. So kind of expanding out, but this is specifically meant, we're calling it the Spring Has Sprung offering, and this is for individual licenses.
Nice. All right, I'm going to go back to this because we were on the single smart plans, but look, there's also the team one, right?
Good point.
I love that. And look, for those of you that are wondering what the hell to do or where to start and you're on this, there's a couple of things here. You see the little question mark on the top right? This is what I love this place. It says, show me how, Learning Center. This is where all the videos are. And check this out, bro. I don't know if you knew this, Stuart.
I did. It's actually an awesome feature, but it's so simple. It's just, I don't even think about it sometimes.
Damn it, you ruined it. See, I was going to surprise you, Stuart. But you scan this with your phone camera and it downloads the app for you. The app's absolutely amazing. The Learning Center is my favorite because we just have our team go through this. If they have any questions, there you go. Just go through all of this. They can learn. If you have an admin, if you have an ISA, if you have anybody on the team, should be going through that whole process. And that for you is Chime. Now, anything that I missed, Stuart, that you wanted to talk about really quick?
Just, when people are, you're thinking about CRM today in the marketplace, most people are only using about 20% of the capabilities of what a CRM can possibly do. And it comes down to education. And I think if you're going to invest in a system or a platform like Chime, I think you have to take advantage of more of the features and functionality. So when we talk and have this discussion, we're talking about, the general features of CRM, which is, contact management and moving people through the cycle. But when you get into smart plans, PPC, SEO, and other features that are there, you have to take a close look, because ultimately all it is doing is trying to help you do a better job to become a better realtor. So that's my advice. Spend a little more time learning the product, go to the webinars, go to the training sessions that are available.
All right, that really good point on that one. I did this quick little video on day one of what follow-up would look like for any online leads if they do decide to get Chime and add PPC. This way they're not lost. Guys, I'm throwing that into the chat. Watch that. It'll help you if you do sign up for Chime. You do sign up for either Facebook lead ads or Google PPC. Watch that video. It's not very long. And question here, it says, is Chime part of Happy Grasshopper, Stuart?
No.
You know what I think it is that it's Dan Stewart is Happy Grasshopper. And so maybe that was a confusion. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, completely different company.
And look, if you sign up for it, I'll send Chime over. Let's see, Dave, I'm going to send you over the link to the 3-year nurture plan. So anybody who signs up for that one, you can send that over to them as well. All right, cool. Good. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Stuart, it was really nice to see you, bro.
Yeah, it was great to catch up. We'll do it again for sure.
I'm glad you joined the Jedis instead of the dark side. So very, very happy.
Yeah, I'm moving through, right? Getting through the business.
Nice to see you. Thank you, everybody. Have an awesome day out there.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, bye-bye.